to really quickly set my spawn before I die.
Hello everyone, this is me, Dusty Circuit here, and welcome to another mob fight on Skade.
Welcome.
Hola.
I'm gonna fix this really quick just for safety purposes.
Lightsaber. Yeah.
I
don't even know.
There's safety here.
I find I don't understand the whole thing with the
There you
Minecraft
go.
mob vote. I think it's I think over the years
Evan, I want to clarify, are you saying you don't understand the mob vote, period, or the hate around the mob vote?
The hate around it. I don't understand the hate that comes with it. I don't understand why it feels like over the years where it's becoming more of a crime to have individual thoughts and feelings on things. It's becoming you're either with somebody or against another, and it's
You're either
like,
with us or against us.
How dare you not conform?
It's kind of a
this happened already with Mojang once, and that was the whole.
Well, I think it's annoying in this context, but I think more broadly it's annoying to it's annoying in Minecraft, but it's more broadly it's annoying that as a culture this is just what we seem to be doing anyway. Like it's the same from politics to the products you buy, the food you eat, the games you play.
The movies you watch, the books everything.
Really, in a way, if you think about this is a form of
anxiety.
politics.
The cancel culture, and from like a psychological perspective, just reading in like Psychology Today and different things like that, is really showing that a lot of youth are really struggling with the feeling that they are chronically letting somebody always down because of cancel culture, and they're not allowed to actually have their own thoughts and feelings on it, because if they do, they chance getting called a name like a groomer, right? Something very, very you'd never want to be called. All because they play a game, or all because they read a book, or all because they like a certain brand or a certain food or certain. It's so stressful. The youth today, I tell you all the time.
I just absolutely
I
hate that. It's just, the way I see it is,
there's a scary
I use whatever products I am just the most familiar with, and whatever I personally like, because I'm an individual human being that's allowed to make their own decisions, their own choices.
The problem with all those things as well is, one of them is the goalpost is always changing. What's okay today may not be okay tomorrow, and you have no way of knowing unless you literally are always on social media and you're paying attention to everybody, and you're still going to miss things. And the second thing is that nowadays making a mistake in general, whether you're a teenager or an adult, it's now unforgivable. I think people have forgotten that people over time.
And it's gonna last forever.
And people have forgotten that over time, we do this thing called growing up or evolving.
Hey, Blue.
Are you stuck?
Yeah, there, I got it out.
Okay, I thought you were just repairing it. I'm like, oh, thanks, PT, for repairing it.
The things that are okay.
That too, but I also got stuck. There.
Oh, I thought I broke the bed. Ooh.
The things I say today will be different from the things I say 10 years from now, and the things I said things I said 10 years ago are different from the things I say currently. But the problem with online is that's not with you forever. You can't ever grow up and change and grow. You can't mess up. You cannot mess up.
Because you can never have the initial mess up. Because it doesn't matter how much you've learned over time or how much you've,
Well, and also people just won't forgive you as well. You're dead to them.
Social media is so scary.
If you made a joke that is now 5 years later is now really transphobic, even though you made that, it's now it doesn't matter how much you have apologized or how much you support trans. Yeah, it doesn't matter how much you support trans people or are friends. It doesn't make a difference what your actions are. It's a thing you said, and it stays with you forever. And it's like, so it's.
I'll avenge you, Blue.
I don't get how we went from talking about the mob vote to cancel culture.
Because in a sense, it's the same. When you have when we have people telling me that they're not going to vote due to the revolution, but they have no clue why, other than they saw it on social media and they thought it, oh, that's the cool new fun thing to be or do. That kind of, it does go into some. It's very similar to cancel culture. They can't, even if they wanted to vote, they can't vote, because if they vote, it's, well, why are you voting? Aren't you part of the revolution? Well, yeah, but yet not one person can explain what this revolution is about. Or maybe
Also-
people do know, but nobody I've talked to.
There's also
It's realistically about people thinking that Mojang's lazy and that
Yeah, that's the
They're
thing.
developing
That's the thing.
games?
It's like
Jeez.
everybody's like, oh,
Entitlement.
Mojang's too lazy to make a good update anymore, and blah blah blah.
But you know what?
I don't think that's true at all. None of these
But
people that are
also-
saying this are probably dead.
well, they're saying why not add all 3 or whatever, and they have no clue how Minecraft
is
is
the most-
developed at all.
This is the most 2023 thing I think I've heard.
The mob vote has nothing to do with them being lazy. It's about them picking a feature that they're going to use as
and who
community
says
engagement.
Who says it's the devs that decide this? The devs make the product that you pick from. It's the management that says, let's only let them pick one of the 3. Like, poor devs. Sorry. I just feel bad for devs.
The other thing I would like to point out too is these people who are doing this whole revolution because the devs are lazy. Can I point out this is the same crowd that tomorrow will be saying, "Oh, support for the developers. That crunch time is inhumane. Let's like." So which one is it? Are they lazy?
That's kind of my
or
point.
Do you care? Do you care about the rights of workers in the video game industry or not? No, you don't. You care about what's popular to say.
Right, exactly, and we'll die on that hill without even knowing what hill you're on to die on, which is where I think is probably the scariest thing for me for all of this is the fact that people will tell me no, I don't know why, but hey, this is fun, and on TikTok they said to do this, and I'm like, hate is fun. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, what? Like, what did the devs do to you? Nothing.
It reminds
Did they
me
provide
too-
a game you love? Yeah. Is it free updates? Yeah.
It's also funny because people like, for example, one of the things I always noticed, and somebody made a very poignant argument about it, is when Queen Elizabeth first died on social media, a lot of people were paying respect, but there were so many crowds of people who were making fun of it or being like, haha, oh no, the Queen is dead, big deal, etc. And it's like, okay, so you're making an edgy joke about how somebody who you don't care about is dead. But then tomorrow you're going to apologize on the internet because of a word you used. So do you care about the way you're perceived or not? Because it's funny how they are, like, this culture we live in now are both the most edgy but also the most apologetic for things, and they don't know what it is they're conforming to or not conforming to.
I don't see the apologetic side yet. I don't see a lot of people yet.
No. What I more mean by that is that if you say the wrong thing, you are expected to apologize.
Canceled. Oh yeah,
and you're cancelled. But it doesn't matter what you say in the apology, you're cancelled. It's like the crowd control what you say now. And the other problem as well is you kind of I don't know, you're kind of held to this impossible standard, and people kind of I don't even know, they kind of I think people are kind of dehumanized. We're being dehumanized day by day, and it's like, you can't make mistakes anymore. You can't
That's
just live and
what a
live
stressful
or
time to
apologize.
live for kids. It's part of the reason why I said I feel so bad for kids, because I had severe anxiety as a teen without any of this, without fear of school safety, without fear of, did I drink a Coca-Cola, but I forgot they canceled Coke yesterday. Like it was hard enough for me, and I struggled enough without any of this. I don't know how you guys do it. Like, I just don't. And my hat is off to you, and I hope you guys are all taking care of your mental health as well as you can.
I will barely use those. It's why I barely use social media or things like Snapchat or Instagram, because although I have them installed and I have occasionally used them, I very rarely post, because it's like I can't be cancelled for saying something I didn't say, so I don't say anything because I know that
for something I didn't say.
Yeah, I will, because somebody could say, well, you made this comment about about this group. It's like, well, no, I didn't, because I didn't make any posts. I don't post on Twitter anymore. So what can I be cancelled for?
I love Skade. Because even if you do something here, we're understanding, we're friends, and we can go, okay, well, maybe the wording wasn't the best thing, but my intentions were pure. Like, and whereas online, oh gosh, no, like
the assumption is always ill intent.
You're done. And unfortunately, this does, cross into very severe poor mental health for some people.
Yeah, if I can butt into this, if this is okay.
Go for it, Dan. What you got?
So, as Blue knows, from my birthday build, I had an egg child on a different server, and I made some mistakes. Yes, some of them were mistakes, and some of them but most of them were mistakes on that server, and I refuse to apologize to the people that I did it to. because that's how Mom always taught me to, if I've done something wrong, always apologize.
Your mama is great for teaching you that. Own it, apologize, be better, and move forward.
Yeah, I do. I've refused to apologize to people that I do anything wrong to.
Oh wow,
nice, Seven.
And like, I even let it go.
I'm being levitated. I need to get down. No, Galaxy just picked up my head.
I even leave people alone for a while, and then I go and
thank you.
say, "Hey, I'm sorry for my past tense of what I did.
I'm down here.
Could we please be friends again?" Like, no, you did something bad. I'm not gonna forgive you for it. It's like really annoying.
Yeah, that's hard.
That is a cool head.
And I think part of the reason that we're seeing more and more of that kind of behavior is and people not being understanding and forgiving. Because I mean, let's be real. I'm 100 years old. I still make Evan, how often do you hear me apologize to Skade in one way or another every day?
Yeah, quite a lot. And I think
make mistakes all the time. But I hope that you guys will be patient with me as I, even at 100 years old, continue to grow every day and learn every day. Because mistakes make you human. In fact, I just had to tell this one recently. A mistake makes you human. How you handle it sets you apart from others and shows people personality. If you can immediately, I am so sorry, I messed up, I own it, I will do better, and I move forward. That's different than someone who makes a mistake and doesn't apologize or blames other people or blames something for it and doesn't own it. Yeah. And one has all the respect and love for me and one doesn't. Because that, to me, being human is to make mistakes. Being human is to make mistakes all the time. All the time. But what you do with that knowledge and how you respond is really what sets you apart as an individual.
I think that one of the things that bothers me as well, I think this generation that I live in, I think is why when I mess up, I'm incredibly hard on myself. I will not be able to really stop thinking about it for a few days. It'll take me a long time to kind of just forget about it,
process it.
Evan, I like that. The old server basically made me just like literally like beat myself up like over the smallest little, even like the slightest little mistake. I beat myself up for it because of how that old server traumatized me. I swear.
I will practically hate myself for it. And I think that living in this generation where you are severely punished for your actions, I think has conditioned me to do the same to myself, because I was never raised in a household where making a mistake now turns into you have to face the most severe punishment and humiliation. I was raised in a household where if you make a mistake, you apologize and that's it, and it's fine. But and if they keep holding it to you or they keep rubbing it in your face, well then that's a them thing or a you thing because you've done your bit. But I think that living in this culture of it doesn't matter, you said it and it's done now and that's it, your career's over, we're never going to listen to your music again because you said that thing 10 years. I think it just has completely conditioned me. I think it's Pavloved me into doing this to myself. And that's why when I
read about in Psychology Today, basically. You're literally the article, because that's one of the things that talked about is how it is shaping. We are shaping our children right now. And that's a whole nother thing. Sorry to get on my soapbox for a minute, but like I'm seeing a lot of like parents taking their little kids to these political rallies and this, and these little kids are spatting out things that are very adult. And then we wonder why our kids are being brought up with severe anxiety. The other day I was watching who follows the lady under the desk, the news lady under the desk.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you see her thing when it was her video that made me do the like post the other day about the images that are going to be done. She said something so great. And actually I didn't think it was her. And it's, if you can do something about a cause, like if you can, as an adult, we do have a little more power. We can actively not buy something. We can not do something. We can go somewhere and protest or something. We can do something. But children can't. They literally can't. So you're giving them adult-sized problems. You're showing them adult-sized problems, but you're not giving them the ability like an adult has to say, that's horrible, but I'm going to write my congressman, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do this. I'm going to try my best. Children are given these same problems and not have the ability to try to do something with it. And when she said that, I was like, she is right. Like, that is so true. Like, this is why you shouldn't be taking your kids to these things. Let your children have childhoods, because they're going to be stressed and have anxiety no matter what once they hit school, really, for many reasons in the US. So let them have a little bit of a childhood. Let them not see these images of war and these things that are going to impact them, but impact them in ways that they can't assist with. Sorry, I don't know how to word any of that any better than what I just said.
I think that it's the pressures that we face as a society are too much, and I think that it's no longer. We used to hold adults with the highest standard to things, and I think now it's no longer. It doesn't matter your age. We're literally going to have toddlers being cancelled for wearing the wrong brand of diapers.
Literally, yeah. That's where we're heading. If we're not, we're probably already there, honestly.
We already are there in a way, yeah.
I was just saying, so about the thing I was talking about before, even like when I messed up so many times, my friend even helped me try to get rules for myself. And then, as you know, Blue, it's hard to enforce sometimes. I try to follow the rules to the best I can, as you know, Blue.
We try, yes.
Yeah. And I had most of them all down, and then I did one more mistake. And then it got me kicked out of it. Like, the rules were don't spam someone's name, talk to other people. I tried that. I was anxious as hell. Don't turn into a specific model. I tried my best, so I did it on my own.
Spamming, though, sometimes there's even times that I have whether my ADHD cannot be harnessed that day, as Riley would call it, harnessed. And I will do things. I actually do some vocal stimming too at times, and I've had people say, "Please never do that or again," and I can't not do it. Part of it, and it's not a Tourette, it's not like Tourette's or anything. It's vocal stemming, but it self-soothes me. And sometimes I'm not thinking that moment, and I do it, and then I feel such shame and anxiety, and it's like. I'm just trying to be me, like, you know what I mean? It's just really hard. Hi, Ragnar, by the way.
Ourselves.
Do you need a TP, Ragnar? Are you here?
He's already here.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
We're trying to be ourselves.
Sorry. I just saw that he was in the call. So it's kind of
trying to be ourselves, Blue.
Yeah, the best thing you can do is you just always try, and some people in your life are gonna be supportive, and some are not gonna give you more chances, and some are. And those that give you chances, Dan, those are the ones like that you hold a little. Yeah, you just hold a little closer, and then when you're put in this position one day, you be a little more understanding, you know, because someone was understanding with you, and it's kind of a, you know, pay it forward kind of thing.
I think that, you know, when it comes to
you literally stuck your neck out for me so much.
I know. Because I don't give up on people. But I
know I'm always gonna be thankful.
I think something that's bred this cancel culture as well is that we live in a society that makes it seem like everything that happens on social media is the most important thing in the world. This celebrity said this. It's like, okay, okay. I'm not over in Los Angeles. I'm not seeing them tomorrow. Angeles, whatever. I don't care.
Good old Angeles.
Like, no, but people do. They unfortunately though they emphasize. Like, somebody at work the other day was saying, "Did you see what this?" I don't know what the celebrity was. But like, "Did you see what that?" I'm like, "Who? What? Oh." I tried so hard to empathize, but I couldn't. On the outside, I was saying, "Oh yeah, that really sucks. I can't believe they said that." On the outside, I'm thinking, "Why do we care? This is somebody you've never even met. They exist in an online sphere that you have."
I love that you just said that, Evan.
The internet is the most important thing in our lives now, and why? It's like, oh my god, big deal.
I ask myself that all the time. Why do we?
James. Like Adam Johnson from South America in Argentina said this when he was fired. Okay, who even is that? I don't care. Like, why don't we focus about what's actually happening in our own lives? Because it seems like now the internet and social media is a window into the entire world's lives, and it's like as if we kind of are losing the ability to care and focus on our own lives, and it's like this. It's like it's the same with like gossip magazines. For example, like Kim Kardashian slams Khloe Kardashian over recent. It's like, who cares?
How do people who literally like social media is their life? How do people like that were switch who social media is like their daily life? How are those people even functioning?
You know what? I asked that same question to see. I've asked similar questions like that where it's like. And the same thing Evan just said. Why do we care? Why do we care about a lot of these things that I just don't get it either? But yet people care enough to cancel.
And you can't help but not care too, because you're conditioned to care. Like if somebody told me a certain celebrity I look up to said something, like, and there's nothing wrong with if you're annoyed at a celebrity who you really admire saying something. Like if one of my if my favorite celebrity John Bernthal said, if I found out like 10 years ago he made a very racist comment. He's in the
studio right now, doing his podcast at your birthday area. If you want to talk to him, you have to go there.
I'd be disappointed for him doing that. But one, I'd say, okay, well that was 10 years ago, and he apologized for it. And two, I'd be like, well, also I'm not even near him. I'm not like I can watch his podcast and still or listen to his podcast and completely like that's the other thing. You can separate those things from a person, in my opinion. I know some people will agree with me on that, but to me it's like
I do.
I can separate that.
I agree with you. And on top of that, one thing that like for me too that I always try to remind myself, and this is just really good practice, is when I get upset about someone, saying something that I feel is wrong or something, one thing I will ask is, people grow. And would I want to be judged off of something that I said 5 years ago? Would I want to be judged? Because I have grown. So if I don't want to be judged, if I don't want someone to think I'm a horrible person because of a joke I made 5 years ago, which now I severely regretted because I've been educated now, I feel I should also give people the same benefit of the doubt. And instead try to educate and then if you don't like them for another reason or something, then of course. But for me, I just always like try to remind myself, how would I feel if I was them and I made a horrible mistake and I learned from it? Should I also be, should I lose everything in my life over this?
I think as well, the other thing we should also consider, and this is something I think also gets neglected, is I'm constantly using the example of, this thing that somebody said 5 or 10 years ago. What about now, though? This could be, right now, the present could be the 5 years ago from for somebody else in the future down the line. The things I'm saying right now could be the 5 years ago that I regret. So I might be saying something that right now I stand by and I feel very strongly about, and then 5 years ago I might go, oh, I can't believe I said that. Like it's like we not only do we not forgive people even when they have grown, we aren't giving them as Blue you kind of say, we aren't giving people the benefit of the doubt and the opportunity to grow. If somebody says something that disappoints me,
I see it as an opportunity. Educate.
Well, I see it as kind of if somebody says something I disagree with, I'm gonna give a bit of pushback. I'm gonna say, well, I don't really agree with that, and here's my. Yeah. I'm not a reactive person. So if somebody says, I'll finish mine, and then I'll let you go down. Sorry.
Jake, go for it, Jake.
It's like if somebody says something very controversial that I vehemently disagree with, and maybe even I'm emotional about, my first response will be, okay, why do you think that? Like, what led you to coming to this conclusion?
Let's have a talk.
Let's discuss it, and I'll tell you my position and why I feel this way. Now, if we still find ourselves disagreeing, I might be disappointed, but I'll go, well, maybe, but at the same time, I can put that aside, and maybe in a few years' time, they'll come to see more my side on things, or, and this is another thing, maybe I'll come to see their position on things. So,
or maybe it's okay to just not agree, but you don't. And I think that's a big thing too right now is people. It's my way. And only my way or you're wrong.
Mission to correct people.
I think in the US, this is a big problem right now is you don't have to understand someone else's take on it. You don't have to understand why someone wants something. You just have to respect that they have a different opinion and that's okay.
Well, and also you have to, the other thing I know is people don't know how to stop themselves either. It's like, well, I have to explain to them why they're wrong about it. I'm like, but why? Why do you need? Well, because they're wrong. They're saying a false fact. I don't agree with them. That's wrong.
You just have a different
opinion. You have a different opinion, and you care too much. This person may never agree with you. Why is that a bad thing? If you believe that oranges taste better than apples, I'm obviously insert political ideology where I'm using the fruit.
I like this. This is good. Apples and oranges.
But if you really believe apples taste better than oranges, and that person really believes oranges taste better than apples, why do you now need to make it your life's mission to change their position on that? Why can't you just go, okay, we see differently. You approach the issue this way, I approach it that way. Why do I now need to not only no longer be your friend, but just never be allowed to accept that people just can have different beliefs or moral. Yeah,
I've seen that in all my years, and I don't know, Peachy is similar in how she's seen it, but I really noticed it a lot. I really started seeing it get really bad around our election. It was the first. I'm not trying to make this any form of political, but I just don't know how else to say it. It was around the first time that Trump ran. And that was when I started seeing my friends saying things and doing things. It's kind of where I saw cancel culture really start to take place, because it was like, if you vote for this candidate or that candidate, didn't matter which one, then unfriend me now. And that was the first time that I really started to see people not being accepting or understanding of people that thought differently, felt differently.
We're
and
no
instead of having that talk, it became, you're blocked, get out of here. And that's when I really started seeing what I would call cancel culture really start to take over in things like social medias.
And the worst part about it as well is that this is not unique to any particular group or party or anything. Everybody does this. People who have the same political ideology I have, and people who have the complete opposite do it. And it's like, and what we're also doing is we're sheltering ourselves from other perspectives. So it's like, here's the thing. If you were raised your entire life to avoid a lion at every single cost and never, ever approach it, you are going to absolutely be terrified and run like madness if you see a lion. If you've been raised and if you kept going to the zoo and were exposed to a lion behind safe glass and were able to talk about it and learn more about the lion from the zookeepers and the other people who handle it, if you were to see a lion in the wild, you might still be a bit, understandably scared, but you're not going to run in terror. You're not going to be as emotional about it. You're going to sit, and that's a bad example, but it's the same with everything. If you are if you block yourself out from something, you're going to get really emotional and really worried the first time you see it.
Yeah.
I will say that, going back to your apples and oranges thing.
Yeah.
That, my line though is, if I need apples to survive and the orange people are like, no oranges or nothing.
Yeah.
Then that's when I have an issue. You can...
That would be a denial of something you need to survive. So that would be like, you have to. For me, it's when, like, if I have a friend, it's hard because with cancel culture, I think where I struggle the most with cancel culture is upsetting my friends, who are very passionate about something, and they actually do get offended or upset when I don't support that as well, or I'm caught, using something that's been canceled. And kind of my take on it more recently is when I'm asked, oh, I can't believe you buy that. I can't believe you had that. That supports this. And what I try to more say is there's lots of things that I do not buy because of my own personal reasons. Something might have upset me, or I don't use this. I don't go to the store because this happened or something. But I also would never want to shame a friend into enjoying something they like. So for me, it's more like if someone asks me, Blue, I noticed you don't drink Coca-Cola. Why? I will say, oh, okay, first of all, this is me. But for myself, blah, 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 blah. And I will explain why. Oh, I got kicked, it looks like. So I will then explain why I don't like it. But I don't encourage my friends to also not drink Coca-Cola because I don't like it. And that's kind of how this got tied into the Mojang thing, was because people are doing it without knowing why they're doing it.
I never understand. It's just we all like what we like.
I understand why it started and why it is, and that's to educate. Oh, well, you didn't know that buying Coca-Cola is actually supporting the I'm just trying to make something up, some movement.
The fun to pave beaches orange. I don't know.
Something like you just said something. Yeah. They support something that I personally am just very against. But at this, and maybe I do want my friends to know about this, but where it I think went so wrong is, and where it's really hit so many people with poor mental health, is the shaming side. And that is because right now I might have, let's say I have 10 good friends, okay? And I have another 20 that are just acquaintances or whatever. There's absolutely nothing I can do that day that is not going to offend one of my friends.
Yeah,
I'm either going to wear this hoodie, I'm going to drink that drink, I'm going to play this game.
Not to mention that, like, say if I just on my own decided not to support this company for whatever reason, that's just me suddenly doing that. That's a drop in the bucket compared to the, like, millions, like, or even like billions of other people who are still using that brand, and it's
I think,
that's
for me,
oh wait, I just want to finish my thought really quick
Sorry.
before I was saying. So for me, now, is it okay to explain to your friend why? Absolutely. And I think this is where it's very delicate, is to say, hey, you notice I'm not drinking Coca-Cola. Well, that's because these orange beaches are very important to me. It's very important to me. I do understand, though, these orange beaches are not important to you. And please drink Coca-Cola. Absolutely. You don't have to not drink Coca-Cola when we're together. I'm not offended by that. Just respect why I'm not, and don't try to convince me to drink it, I guess would be my one thing.
It's the same principle of religion.
But as long as I'm not shaming my friends and making people feel bad.
You can literally apply this to anything. Like
you can.
Like,
yep. Thank you for saying.
Like
exactly.
this one time, like I don't know if I should be bringing this up or not, but
start the box soon?
I just remember this one moment. It was like not long after actually my computer upgrade. Like I joined a call. It was like I think I remember it was like an MC Parks call, and then I talk about, I'm really excited about how my new computer runs MC Parks very well. Let's just say that someone was in the call, and then I don't know, I think they said, why'd you get an AMD CPU or whatever it was? And I'm like, that's just what I have the experience with. And then they go on like about like, Intel's better or whatever, and it's just
some of that can be not so much cancel culture as it is as more. Yeah, I was gonna say.
I don't care if it's
that's
cancel
the Android
culture.
Apple kind of thing.
I don't care if it's cancel culture or not. It's just
specifically.
Like,
yeah, it's hard. It's frustrating. I
don't want to be shamed for my personal decision, especially if money's involved in that decision. I don't want to be shamed for spending my money on.
Yeah, I think that's almost more of a autism-ish kind of thing, where it's very black and white. Like, the AMD is superior, so why wouldn't you? Like, and sometimes that's not so much like a friend trying to shame you as a friend that just literally cannot understand why you would not. And that's where our friend needs to work on. It's okay. Even if someone wants to purposely choose a lower quality something, that is okay. That's also another hard pill to swallow.
I think for me too, I think it's like, I kind of agree with that. And I think that, one of the things as well is I think that the actions that I take, although like they can in some ways affect certain issues, it's for me, the way I draw the line is I can respect anybody's issues on anything. I think for me, it's, are you directly harming somebody? I think that if they're buying like a brand or something, and the money that is made from that may be supporting somebody who feels a certain way about an issue, I still don't, in my brain, think it's enough of a justification to then say I need to not allow anybody to do that. Because to me, it's like, although obviously, yes, that's where the money's going, is my friend directly doing that? Is my friend going out onto the streets and fighting for that exact cause? And the other thing too is, if you, depending on no matter what business you go to, you have no idea who like if you go, let's say you go to, I don't know, like a local shop. Let's say you go to, I'll use the common one. If you were to go somewhere like Walmart, and you buy some products there, how do you know for an absolute fine fact that the person who you're serving who's serving you at the front desk, who you're paying, the products from, how do you know the cashier who is serving you is not secretly somebody who commits crimes every night? They get paid by Walmart to serve you. Are you now funding that guy being allowed to continue committing his crimes at the dawn of night? I feel like if you use the argument, it affects everything you do. The oxygen I breathe was breathed by the same person who committed arson. Does that now mean I am
I've done the same rabbit hole.
I know it's a little ridiculous, I know, and it is a bit of a stretch, but I feel like it's the same principle. It kind of shows how ridiculous it is, though. Like, literally, where do you stop pushing that line back, is where you're saying. Yeah, exactly. And I think for me, it's like, I think it's hard to do the right thing all the time, and I think we just need to be like more tolerant and just go, you know what, you're not always going to get it right, and I'm not always going to agree, and it's fine. It's whatever.
I think the biggest thing that, if I could wish one thing for humanity per se, and all this, is just someone understand it's okay to not always agree. It's okay to like different things. It's okay. We can still all be friends and all be of all different race, all different political sides, all different cultures, all different everything, and we can.
And
it's
there's nothing you don't even have to agree with it. Just respect it.
Well, and if you don't agree, that's okay too. But it is exactly. It's just, and Dusty, you and I talk about this all the time. You don't have to agree. You just have to respect my opinion, and I will respect your opinion. I'm
going to close this out, this entire conversation out for something for me, and I'm going to kind of stop adding on to it for now. But I've quoted this before. But this is a quote by a very famous philosopher, Friedrich Nietzsche. And he makes a very poignant point that ties in. The surest way of ruining a youth is to teach him to respect those who think as he does more highly than those who think differently from him. Mm-hmm. And I think that is very true of society. I think that, and I agree. I think that is the way that things like cancel culture will continue being bred. If you only hold people who think differently, who think the same as you, in higher regard than those who think differently from you, you are never going to be open-minded, you'll
never expand yourself. Yeah.
No, exactly. Yeah.
That's why I always tell you guys, the worst thing you can do is have people that you surround yourself with that are yes man, yes womans, because they will agree with everything you say and do. I don't do that. I put myself with other people because otherwise I'll never grow. Imagine if everyone just always agreed with you. You would never grow. You would never change and develop, because disagreeing with others and learning, that's how you learn. That's how you better yourself, even if it's uncomfortable at times.
And also sometimes it's also how you you also grow more tolerant. It's how you better yourself. It's like, okay, that person disagrees, and I've already kind of explained why I disagree.
Reset your bed here if you guys want. It's a lot easier. Just a reminder. That's all.
And that's right. And they still disagree with me, and it's like, you know what? It still takes.
About the skulk, I saw it was queered. We have to get rid of skulk catalysts if we don't want that.
Yeah, I removed the one that was nearby.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's one of those things where, as well, at a certain point, it gets to a point where you're also like, it takes growth and maturity as well to go, all right, well, we disagree, and I guess that's it. Like, I've already explained my position. They still continue to disagree. I'm probably never going to agree with them on this thing, but it's like, it's fine. And I think that as well, that's how you grow. You grow as a person by being tolerant of other people's views, not just changing your own views to, it's very hard.
It's hard, and it takes practice, and I can't help but wonder, this is something that, society has always struggled with these things, but it seems worse right now than ever, and I don't know why, and I just don't know why. I don't know what are we doing? There's somewhere.
This is just a hunch, but I think it's just because it's because of the internet. It's like it allows stuff like this to spread like wildfire.
People won't agree with me on this one. I also believe it's due to the presence of echo chambers. It has never been easier in human history to get locked into you only hear one side of an argument. When you are completely sheltered from another person's opinion on something, when they finally do hit you with that other opinion, how else are you going to act apart from with complete emotionality and upset? Because all your life, you've heard the same opinion over and over. So when somebody finally turns around and says, no, I don't like that, it's like, if you grew up only hearing from people that how great oranges are, and you hear that for your entire life, for 20 years, and then you finally meet somebody who believes that apples are better than oranges, you're going to get very upset very quickly, and you're going to go, but how? No, oranges are better. How can anybody get away with saying that? And it's
then we have war. Literally, war breaks out.
And I think the other thing, too, to consider is, when it comes to that, I think that, with echo chambers, it's difficult because I think people... I just lost my thought. I had an idea of where I was going, and I just completely lost it. But it's
right out the window.
But yeah, it's kind of... I think that echo chambers are a big part, and I think that, I think too, and I think it's normal, if you have a friend and you have a certain issue you feel very passionately about, it can be hard as well if your friend disagrees, because you kind of, in some ways, will hope they'll agree with you on something like that. But... that's when you've got to really practice that feeling of, that person, even my own friend disagrees with me on this issue, and that's very hard for me to accept because I was hoping we'd feel the same because we see eye to eye on so many things, but you still have to be able to compartmentalize and go, well, that's fine though. It's hard for me to accept, but it's fine.
Yep. By the way, Ragnar, we don't usually have talks like this.
Don't hurt anybody.
It's very common for skaters to end up.
This is this this has to be one of the deepest talks we've had in a long time.
Especially like this and this kind of call by far. But yeah, I think you guys handled it really well, very maturely, and very good. It's a good talk, I feel.
I mean, even for me, these talks are kind of hard to have, but like I'm. Like
I'll take sorry to interrupt, but I'll take anyone's string, by the way.
Oh, I just put some in the. Did you just grab it? Someone grabbed it.
Yeah,
I was gonna.
If people want to put them in this chest, I can grab them.
Sorry,
go ahead, Dusty.
Even for me, for the maturity that I have, these talks are kind of hard for me to digest. But I at least appreciate that we as a server, we're able to have these talks at least somewhat tamely.
Yeah, actually, it's a good thing. And sorry, Evan, I'm just gonna tattle on you a tiny bit. Earlier today in birthday team, Evan was making a joke, and made a joke about it was just something funny Evan said, and Evan at the time didn't realize quite what it meant, and immediately, of course, apologized, and we all kind of giggled and stuff, but that's it. We move on. And that's kind of the beauty of a community like Skade is because, like I said earlier, we're always gonna make the mistake, right? There's no, wow, nice job, Ragnar, GG. You're always gonna make the mistake. You're always gonna do that. But if you surround yourself with friends and people that will go, oh, that was just really funny, and yeah, I see how it was a mistake. Of course, I see how it was a mistake. You can learn and grow from it. When this happens online, and when you're relentlessly bullied and tortured, torture is not the right word, bullied to the point that you torture yourself over it, and now you're afraid to speak up or afraid to talk, you can't grow. And I feel like that's where cancel culture comes in, because, and it is a bad thing, because everyone that has done something that's caused them to get canceled. Nice job, Dusty. Woo woo.
Wow.
You guys are rocking it today.
Nice.
Sometimes you just make a mistake. I grew up hearing all the time my dad saying, "Oh, you put your foot in your mouth." You know, how many of you guys have heard that phrase before?
I didn't pick up the head though. Oh, there.
I've heard of it.
I got it.
Okay, good.
Never mind.
I grew up hearing all the time my dad say, "Oh, you probably want to take that big foot out of your mouth."
I don't have the head. I have a different head.
It's okay. Well, once this round ends, we'll get it for you. Well, Dusty, we'll find it. It's probably just went into someone's inventory.
Yeah.
But you can do that. You putting your foot in your mouth, or putting your making mistakes and just not thinking and saying something. It doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you human. But surround yourself with people that are going to be understanding. There you go, Dusty.
I think as well. I think specifically in my case as well, it's hard because, like I said, no, it's fine. It's fine. It's relevant. It's important. I think that it's hard sometimes. I struggle when I make a mistake, and that's actually, I was kind of hinting at that exact scenario. When I say I make mistakes, I torture myself over it. I can't get over it for a while, and I really do kind of resent myself for making a mistake. And I think it's social media that's made me feel like that. And I think that sometimes I make the mistake of, and I need to kind of learn just to not do this, but I make the mistake too, where I will sometimes, and this is especially true if anybody asks me, I will kind of try and explain the thought process that led to me making a mistake. And what ends up happening is I think it unfortunately comes out as if I'm trying to okay my actions, when really I'm just trying to I want people to at least understand how I came to do something as ridiculous or as crazy as that, because I don't stand by when I do things like that or I make mistakes, but I at least want people to know.
Yeah.
But I at least want people to know like the train of thought I had, so people know it wasn't ill intent, because I feel like I have to clarify myself. And I think that, again, we live in a society where you must apologize and you must clarify, and I think that that's why I do that. And it's annoying because really what I should just be doing is just apologizing and saying nothing else. I think that unfortunately what ends up happening is I apologize, and I think that I try and kind of explain it, and I think that it just makes it sound like my apology isn't sincere. So it's something I'm not proud of, but it's something I am trying to, stop doing. So.
Hey, I think you're doing fine, but but yeah, sometimes it's the big and this is why, and you guys know me, I apologize for things all the time, and I push Riley to do that, and it's owning it, and it's not because you should feel bad that you did something wrong. It's because if you don't acknowledge that you did, it's really hard to ever adjust and make sure you don't make that same mistake again. When you don't acknowledge it, when you don't own it, when you just pretend it didn't happen, or you blame someone else, or you just don't own it at all. It's really hard to then, when the situation happens again, to not do the same thing you did before. It's kind of what I was saying in the very beginning. When you own it, you make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes, but you own it. You say, I'm going to learn and do better, and then you just go forward. You move on, It's
annoying, too, because I struggle, because for me as well, it's one of those things where I can't not own something. Depending on some situations, I will kind of, I'll over-apologize, too. Like, I can't not. If I've done something wrong or I've been exposed to something, I cannot Now, there have been some scenarios where I might at first give a bit of pushback, but on the inside, I already am screaming at myself because I know I've messed up, and so depending on the emotionality of the situation, I can get a bit like defensive.
Get his feet, everybody! Kick him in the knees. Sorry.
But it's okay. But I am evolving, and I am trying to, again, But
and when you're 100, you'll still be when you're 100, like I am, you will still be trying. Because if someone ever tells you, oh, I've grown up and I know not to do this and I don't need to learn from myself, run. That's a red flag, because no,
100%.
when I really am 100 years old, I will still be saying the same thing. Oh, I don't want people holding me to what I did in my 80s. I don't want people, judging me off of something I did in my 70s or my 60s and my 50s. How many of you don't want to be judged off of something you did when you were 15?
Oh, absolutely.
You guys are all closer to like 20ish now. Yeah, so it's
not welcome me.
Exactly, because we do grow, and if you're around people that aren't accepting of that, well, that's a little entitled, in my opinion, because I guarantee you that person also did things 5 years ago that they maybe today would be like,
it's kind of, in a way, it's kind of God complexy, because it kind of makes it sound like you're above.
I don't want to say it, but that's exactly what it is. It makes it sound like they're above
consequences. I will still, and this is why I talk very openly on Skade about how I used to troll when I was younger, because I do feel ashamed that I used to do it. I do want to be honest about it. I still own it. I still own, when I was younger, I used to literally cause trouble on servers on purpose. I used to start arguments. I'm not proud of it, and I don't stand by the fact that I did that.
I'm just kidding, sorry.
But damn, Blue.
However, I have to own it, and so
I feel
one of the ways I own it is I openly talk. Hold on, Dusty. One of the ways that I own it is I openly talk about it on Skade, so people know that I have learned, and people know that it's okay to do things like that. Because if you talk to me now and you didn't know that I did those things, would you think I'd be capable of that now? Maybe not, but it doesn't mean I was never. But it doesn't mean I was never. But I did read your
files somewhere else, so I know.
Oh no! Oh no!
I just wanted to say that I feel like all of us, at some point in our lives, like especially in our teenage years, we probably all go through some kind of a phase where we just cause drama on purpose.
Mayhem? Of course. Of course we do. And that doesn't stop in your teens, by the way. I know quite a few adults that cause drama all the time, so.
I think that as a teenager, I think that when I was a teenager, and again, this is not me standing by what I did when I was younger, when I used to troll, but I think this at least gives a little bit of foresight on why, is when I was younger, I didn't really rebel in real life. I had nowhere in my life to rebel, and so I think that Minecraft servers where I'm talking to a bunch of avatars who now I better understand as literal children, I kind of was like, well, this is kind of my place to rebel. This is my place to vent out my frustrations. I'm upset. I'm emotional. I can just do it on a Minecraft server rather than in real life against my own mother. Ow. So I think that it's kind of like, I think that everybody in life has whether you're rebellious towards your parents, whether you're rebellious towards, whether you're rebellious towards your school, whether you're rebellious towards a community you're part of, there's always, I never rebelled against my swimming club, I never rebelled against my own family, but I certainly rebelled in Minecraft, and I think that is, and I think everybody in their teenage years rebels in some form, and that was how I rebelled a lot. So I think that But again, I do not stand by that now. I would never do that now.
But you use it as an opportunity to also educate, and that's one thing
Absolutely.
too. I always say is, it's kind of like sometimes it is important to share things, and it's not because you want someone to be a troll too. You're trying to just pass along some wisdom, you know.
Yeah, it's like take it from me.
I can't get in. What is the deal? I've been trying to get in like this whole time. I can't.
Nin.
If somebody like
We need a way to get in that's not the door, I guess, is what we need.
If somebody were to tell me like,
Limitation.
if somebody were to tell me now that they trolled in the same way that I did when I was younger, I would say, why though? And they'd say, well, it's because it's funny. I'm like, yeah, but like you're wasting your time. Like you could be doing other really great things, and you're instead choosing to spend your time trying to ruin a literal child's day. Why?
Right, which is someone had explained to you when you were that age, and depending on how they explained it, did they explain it in a relatable way, or did they scold you? Scolding doesn't work, as you guys know.
No, it doesn't.
But relatability is amazing. It's like, oh, yeah, that's me.
If I were to talk to somebody doing exactly the same things I did when I was younger, I would say, hey, I noticed you kind of like to mess around. First of all, I'd like to know, why do you do this? Like, what is it about that you do? Like, is it, you know, do you think it's funny? Because I know when I was younger, I used to do a very similar thing. I used to, in my spare time when I was your age, I would go onto Minecraft servers and I'd mess around. I'd provoke people. I'd start arguments. I'd say very controversial things to get people upset because I like the reactions. And then maybe they say, you know, they give all these lists of reasons. And I can say, well, but, you know, here's a better way you could spend your time. Are you angry at something? You know, why don't instead you instead just, why not, rather than taking it out on somebody who doesn't know you and is basically younger than 12, why not instead try and spend that time doing, so I would break it down. I would,
sorry, what mob Nin had posted, which one do you guys want to end on mob-wise?
Whichever. I don't mind.
What do you guys want?
I don't have a good
I'm
answer.
Gonna steal all the slime balls.
Oh, there's I keep going in and coming back out just to bring them all to the chest.
I don't know, just whatever mob we haven't done yet, and since it's the last one, it could be a hostile mob even.
Dolphins.
I think
Let's
but it's 100. But it's 100% what you say, Blue. It is. It's trying to pass on what the mistakes I made when I was younger. I think that you're always going to make mistakes, but you can at least not make the same ones I made. I think that is kind of the important thing of doing it, and that's why on Skade it's like I tell that to people all the time because I don't want. And I also another reason I do it too is because of the age we live in. I don't want somebody to one day go, well, Evan, I found these old screenshots of you trolling people. And it'd be like some kind of Uno surprise. I want it to be I want people to already. I'd rather people hear it from me.
Those screenshots, it's okay.
I'd rather people hear it from me rather than somebody else use it against me. I'd rather people just know from the off that when I was younger, I used to troll people. I did, and I said and did some horrible things, and I regret it. But you know, I've moved on from it, and I don't do that anymore, and I would never do that anymore because I've matured, and I'm in a place mentally where I just don't ever feel the desire, and I see it for what it is. It's literally just starting an argument with a 5-year-old.
It's just being not a nice person, put it in the most politest way I could.
But it is. It genuinely is not being a good person. It is actually being very horrible.
How is Galaxy this lucky? Wow.
You should go play Pokemon Go right now and get you a shiny
Galaxy, will you have this luck when we get a lottery scratch card?
And Evan, you know that was recorded, so if Edie watches my video...
Edie knows!
Edie loves it.
Sorry, Edie.
Edie knows that.
Edie knows about this.
Love you, Edie. You're a great person. I love you, Edie.
You're just jealous.
He doesn't really.
BB saw my...
It's all endearment.
My, what do you call it? My cherry boo. My pumpkin. He said she's...
Hey, Blue, you wanna know how many slime blocks I got? Out of all that?
I can only imagine a lot, because I think I myself put, like...
How is nobody dead from the dolphins yet?
Because we don't do enough.
5 stacks
I'm not even
27
taking a
blocks.
single hit from them.
Huh. Weird.
And how you getting with that?
I'm not either. Oh no, I am.
Then,
I take the back, I am.
I bugged that for a reason so I could just jump in.
Oh, what's the matter, you bottlenose dolphins? Yeah, try and blow some water. Oh wait, you can't because you're not in water, are you? You dry fish.
It's one of my favorite of the heads. It looks so cool. I like them.
Hey, Blue, we should have a fish fight after this. It'd be funny.
Unfortunately, in about 3 minutes I have to go. Otherwise,
what do you say we plan it for later?
Not today, but maybe
not
like
today.
tomorrow.
Later.
Yeah, I've just got a lot on my plate today.
Yeah. Blue, look how you can get in without going through the door. I made a way up.
Oh, I just leave the door open now. I'm the one. It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. I leave the door open.
Blue, don't leave the door open.
I can't help it. If I can't get in. That's my problem. Though I missed almost an entire round because I couldn't get back in without getting the door shut.
Blue?
We need that, how we did it the one time where you can climb in.
That's what I made, Blue.
That's an interesting death message.
What is
Blue,
saying?
that's what I made.
I like that. That's funny.
Yeah.
Blue, I made that on the roof for y'all.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
I'm dead by pandas. Look, if you look over here, Blue.
And you did good on that one.
Yeah, I need to fix some of them, because some of them, like, they say was slain by Iron Sword, and it doesn't make grammatical sense.
Life doesn't make grammatical sense. Don't.
I'm surprised they never came out with... I mean, we have Obsidian. I'm surprised Mojang never came out with, like, an Obsidian form of, like, armor. Oh, GG, Dusty!
Nice, Dusty.
Whoa. Blue.
Another
Blue.
one.
Careful, Blue. You don't want to
one.
influence children into trying to make fake armor. That is bad. I wouldn't do that. Careful.
Well, they have Obsidian armor and modded, which is really fun.
You understand that kids are playing with lava and water now.
Can someone give Dusty their head, please?
I don't have it. I don't think.
I don't have
I should
head.
probably check mine. Hold on.
Blue, check your
I don't.
inventory.
Nope, I don't have it. I got Wildfire's head.
Yeah,
using
Macas.
only
Galaxy
Auroras,
Clear
no shadows, even though shadows are the ones boosted.
I think I need to look at the loot tables for those.
Did someone drop me my head?
Oh.
And I drop in. Thank you, Dan. I like that. See? I did it.
Oh, I just cleaned my inventory and then it gets filled up again. But if you look right here, Blue, here's the entrance for you.
Oh, I already did it. I already went in. Yeah.
Maybe I should set it up so like the bed typically like respawns you right in the room.
Hello.
Oh, that'd be actually mayhem, and that'd be really funny.
Hang on, I'm playing something on my phone. 1 minute.
Except someone will accidentally hit the bed and break it.
It's called.
Well, if I have it like boxed in obsidian, you'll still respawn on the inside, you know.
It's called Pokemon Go. You're playing.
Nope, I'm not.
It's an
I'm
event
playing.
today. The Pumpkaboos are out, guys. Go get your Pumpkaboos.
I didn't even know that myself.
Yours would have started yesterday for you, I think.
I'm playing a game called Traffic Escape. It's actually a mobile game I saw on my ads that actually looked good.
Were you flying when you soared? When you
Oh,
soared
we
high in the
popped
sky?
Ragnar's totem.
Anybody ever punched me really hard in the face?
When you
Multiple
soar high in the
times.
sky, Blue.
Yes.
No, do you want
I
to?
will press charges if you kick me
No
off.
shadow.
Blue, you
of
just
a green.
died. Blue just died in front of me. How is that?
I feel bad.
Hi, I'm back.
I feel bad if you weren't
Hi.
being sarcastic.
Hi, Blue.
I was just being
Hey, Blue.
sarcastic.
Is
I was
it
gonna
me?
say I feel
Am
pretty bad about that.
You got a
You
shout
remember
out
that one,
on
Blue?
earlier? Ooh, sorry, what, Dan? What?
You remember that song that says, "Hi, it's me."
I know. That's like my anthem. Okay, dropping off my final stuff. Anyone needs feathers? You guys got a lot of feathers.
I
No.
still haven't gotten that head I got.
Oh, which one is it, Dusty?
You have to...
Oh, you know what? I think I actually have it on me, Dusty. I didn't see it because it was on my hotbar. Here.
Okay.
There you go.
Yay! That's a cool one.
Sorry about that. I was looking up in my thing and I didn't realize I had it on my hotbar.
It's okay. At least I got it at the end.
Does anyone not have a penguin head and wants a penguin mask? Jake is
Oh, I want a penguin head. Give me penguin head, please. Penguin head, please.
It's a map. It's a
You're
head.
telling everybody to vote for the penguin, right? Yeah.
I'm not pushing the penguin vote at all. Here you go.
Even though clearly it's the best option.
81 rack.
Visually.
See, I like the
Here's one for Tal.
my thing is I like the armadillo because it's giving actual like
Oops.
dog armor
There
finally
you go.
after ages.
Wow, this conversation went full circle.
We're back to Mojang. Yes, it did, Dusty. Very good.
I always
All
love.
right. Do you
I
want to
genuinely love
outro,
yours.
Dusty?
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you all for watching. This has been me, Dusty Circuit, here with another mob fight on Skade. If you liked what you saw, remember to leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you want to see my next videos, be sure to hit the bell for notifications. And peace out. Bye.
Peace out.
Peace out,
ring,
Girl
ring,
Scout.
ring,
Ringer,
ring, ring.
ringer. Peace out. Ringer.
What the-